السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا أرحم الراحمين. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach us what benefit us from what He taught us and increase us in knowledge. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, epic build the masjid, you build the masjid. We have Imam Bashir, you have Imam Bashir. So what are you going to do now? Next. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the Imam inshallah ta'ala and grant him the sincerity in everything that he says and does inshallah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And I would request you as whom are the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, right? And we mentioned whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned from the Quran, whom does He love? And one of them, the Shaykh just mentioned from Surah Al-Mumtahina, إن الله يحب المقسطين. We said Allah يحب المقسطين, Allah يحب الصابرين, Allah يحب المتوكلين, Allah يحب التوابين, يحب المتطهرين, يحب المتقين. All these are from the Quran. That Allah loves the muttaqeen, the patient ones, the mutatahhirin, the one who repent a lot, and we mentioned them all. Now from the Sunnah, whom did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say from the Sunnah, ya akhwan? This is an extremely important topic, by the way, because if we gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are set. You're done. So how to gain His love, or how to be from the people that He loves subhanahu, it's a great achievement. So قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وجبت محبتي. In one narration, in another narration, حقت محبتي. سبحان الله. وجبت محبتي للمتحابين فيه والمتجالسين فيه والمتزاورين فيه والمتباذلين فيه. الله أكبر. My love, Allah is saying, my love is due to these four categories of people. The one who love one another for my sake. The one who sit with one another to study my deen, to come close to me, which is, may Allah make us amongst them, inshallah. And the one who visit one another only for my sake. And the one who spend on one another only for my sake. Let's take them quickly one by one, inshallah. First, al-mutahabbina fi. The one who love one another only for Allah's sake. Wallahi ya akhwan, it is a forgotten ibadah. All of them, as a matter of fact, they are forgotten ibadat, because this is a ibadah. To gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best ibadah. So can you imagine, just for me and you to love one another for His sake, I can gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What does it mean to love one another for Allah's sake? To love to you what I love to myself. To order or to advise you with good and forbid you from performing evil. Or in summary, just applying Surah Al-Asr between each other. If we apply Surah Al-Asr between each other, that means we love one another. If we help one another on Iman, help one another on doing Amal Salih, and help one another on Haqq, and be patient doing that, that is really love for the sake of Allah. I see you doing something wrong, I advise you. I see you doing something right, I take your hand and assist you. I love to your family what I love to my family. I got promoted, I'm making dua at night, Ya Allah, make my brother also, give him the promotion too. My son became a hafiz, I also make dua, Ya Allah, make his son a hafiz. You are going through difficulty, Ya Allah, relieve his sadness. This is the love for Allah's sake. I worry about you, I share your happiness, I share your sadness. Allah ya akhwan, if we can establish this with our Imam, inshallah, wallahi, this is the biggest achievement. If we can unite our hearts only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other hadith, subhanallah, we mentioned it a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago. Allah, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there are people على منابر من نور يغبطهم الأنبياء والشهداء لا هم بأنبياء ولا هم شهداء ويغبطهم الأنبياء والشهداء قالوا من هم يا رسول الله قال هم قوم تحابوا في جلال الله. People on the day of judgment, they are sitting on pulpits of light. They are neither prophets nor shuhada. Who are they, Ya Rasulullah? These are people who love one another for the sake of Allah without any financial transactions between them, without any relationship between them. They just love one another for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar. And the hadith that we all know, subhanallah. Another gain from loving one another for the sake of Allah is that, what is it? Who's going to help me? No. What is one of the fruits? Huh? Allahu Akbar. يظلهم الله في ظله يوم لا ظل إلا ظله. You will be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment when there's no shade except His shade. Allahu Akbar. All that because I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So saying that, I make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala my witness that I love you all for the sake of Allah. And this is the only thing that brought me here. It's because I love you for the sake of Allah. And I ask Allah because of that love to gather us under His shade when there is no shade except His shade. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Second, ya akhwan, al-mutajalisin fillah. This is mutajalisin fillah. They sit down, jalasa, yajlus, mutajalisin fillah. They sit down, only they want to hear something good. They want to learn something good. So when the imam or the sheikh say that, brothers, there's a khatira 5-10 minutes after Fajr, after Isha, we see a lot of people getting up. And the problem, where's the problem? The problem is that they're 10 minutes standing outside talking. You could have been from the mutajalisin fillah. Just sit down those 10 minutes and go. And socializing is beautiful, especially from the people of the masjid. Stand outside and talk as much as you want, but don't miss that 5-10 minutes that has so much ajr. You're surrounded by the angels. The rahmah of Allah descend upon you. Allah will shower you with His mercy. Allah, the tranquility will descend upon you. Allah would mention your name. And at the end of the gathering, you might be, may Allah make us amongst them, you will be told, قُومُوا مَغْفُورًا لَكُمْ. Get up, all your sins are forgiven. Allahu Akbar. This is only because I sat down and listened to the shaykh. I learned something, subhanallah. So, ya akhwan, the shaitan comes and reminds you of too many things. For example, I was telling the brothers, Fajr was 6:40 in Epic. And then we came back to 6:30. But I understood 6:40 because you have to rush. Yesterday we were praying 6:40. What happened? It's 5 minutes, khatira. Where are you going, brother? No, I'm not saying about the people who are busy, they have things to do. 100% you are excused. But I'm saying just the people who are going to get out and just talk outside or watch TV and sit down, ya akhi. This is a huge ajr. Mutajalisina fillah. They sit down only to learn something about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To learn something that will bring them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many people's life changed from one word, one statement, one hadith, changed somebody's life. You never know when is that going to be your turn. Subhanallah. Al-mutajalisina fillah wal-mutazawirina fillah. This is mutazawirina fillah, the one who visit one another for the sake of Allah. I'm guilty. I can tell you I'm guilty in this, wallahi. Ya akhwan, I'm sure you all agree with me. When is the last time you visited your brother just for the sake of Allah? Remember the hadith of the person who was visiting someone, and the angel came and told him, where are you going? He said, to visit my brother. That's the only reason. Nothing, no business, nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you. Allah. This is one thing, ya akhwan, that we are guilty, wallahi. We don't visit one another. Forget about visiting. I don't know what's the guy's next to me. What's his name? We have to get to know one another, visit one another only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Invite one another only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is such a beautiful ibadah that we are missing. It's a ibadah. Can you imagine? Visiting my brother for the sake of Allah and eating and drinking and checking up on him is a form of ibadah. That not only ibadah, but ibadah that will increase the possibility of me gaining the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْمُتَبَاذِلِينَ فِي. Another one that we are guilty. I hear, ya akhwan, that my brother, for example, is going through difficulty. He is behind 2-3 months in his rent. I know, and I mentioned that also before. Allah, ya akhwan, do not wait for him to ask. Do not wait for him to ask. spend. You know, when Rasulullah ﷺ was asked, what is the most beloved amal to Allah? One of them is to cover his debt, to pay off his debt. So this is al-mutabadilina fi. Allah blessed me with money. Allah blessed you with money. And you know that your brother is going through hardship. Don't wait for him to ask. Don't wait for him to ask. By yourself, go and, how much is your debt? 2,000, 3,000? Here you go. When do you want it back, brother? Wallahi, that dua that brother is going to make at that second could change your life. And $3,000 or $5,000 for some of us does not shake them at all. At all. They will not even feel if they miss it. But that guy, you have changed his life. You have really put surur in his heart. You put happiness and joy in his heart. You did an amal that is so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And keep in mind, who sent that guy to you? And why it was you? You're being tested. And always be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you are being asked and you're not asking. Because تلك الأيام نداولها بين الناس. You never know when's going to be the day that you're asking. Allah, I know a brother personally. In the, I would say, 90s, he was making $250,000 a year. Before I leave New York, he asked me for $50 for gas. 2 years ago. So, in النعم لا تدوم. The blessings, they do not last. When you have it, whosoever remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at ease, Allah will remember him in hardship. When you are at ease, ya akhwan, this is not just talk. Why do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when they sit and listen, they will gain my love? Because of not listening. Listening is easy. Talking is cheap. It's about applying. After this, someone came to me and he complained. Allahu Akbar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent me a person to implement what I heard. Not about listening and talking and, oh, Brother Bajur, mashallah, it was beautiful. Who cares? It's about applying. It's about applying, ya akhwan, applying. This is what brings us close to each other. This is what increases the love between one another. Can you imagine someone, how would I feel about somebody who, I was not able to sleep for 3 weeks because this guy keep bothering me, he wants his money, and then a brother came and said, I'll take care of it, don't worry about it. Allahu Akbar. How do I feel? How do I feel about that brother? نفس كربة عن أخيه. Whosoever relieve stress or grief from his brother, Allah will relieve his stress on the day of judgment. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based his rahmah, his forgiveness, all about how we treat each other. Subhanallah. So ya akhwan, let's be amongst these people that love one another for the sake of Allah, that visit one another for the sake of Allah, that sit with one another to come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the ones who spend and help one another financially only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this blessed morning, inshallah ta'ala, to unite our hearts. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from the people who love one another only for His sake. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in Iman. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our wives, our mothers, and our children. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And I would love and request you to please stand up. Everybody stand up, inshallah. And hug one another and tell each other, I love you for the sake of Allah. I'll start with the Iman. أحبك لا تنسى شيء. حبيبي بارك فيك.